gonna share.
Grand Rising, Elizabeth. Thank you for joining us. Oh my goodness, we're going to have a good day today. We're going to learn some more about health and wellness and mind, body, and spirit. And it's my privilege, my pleasure to introduce to you our host today and every week, actually, with Razia, Saesha Nix.
Hi, peace. How's everyone doing this morning? You doing all right? So today I just wanted to touch base with everyone about carbs and keto. It's actually something I talked about on Wellness Wednesdays at the D-Loft Cafe. And it seems to be a very enlightening subject for a lot of people because, you know, we were never really taught what carbs truly are. You know, how many of us had nutrition classes coming up? How many of us had doctors who, you know, took the time to show us, you know, why certain foods are good and, you know, why we should avoid others. So today I just wanted to go over some of those things. So carbs are not the enemy. I just want everyone to know that your body prefers carbohydrates as its main source of fuel, because everything that your body breaks down, it breaks it down into glucose for the most part so that your body can use it as fuel. Your brain uses about a third of the energy that you take in to function. So carbohydrates are pretty easy for your brain to use and pretty easy for your body to use. It's a readily available source of energy, but there are certain types of carbohydrates. So what we have to get away from are the processed foods, the refined foods, the things that come in packaging, the things that come with nutrition facts for the most part. You want whole foods. And if you eat a whole foods diet, then you'll be better off in the long run. You know, everyone thinks carbs is French fries and muffins and cakes and pasta. And those are carbs, but those aren't the best carbs. And so when we think about carbohydrates, we have to realize that fiber is a carbohydrate. Sugar is a carbohydrate. Starch is a carbohydrate. Those are the three types that you have. And when we go into the store, there's a difference between a whole grain and there's a difference between a refined grain. So a whole grain is going to give you fiber on the outside because it comes with a bran. And the bran is the outer shell. Then it comes with the endosperm, which is the fluffy part, the part that we love to eat for comfort. Okay. Then it comes with the germ. The germ is where the essential fatty acids are. That's where our minerals are. That's where the true nutrition is that we need to function. And when we get refined grains, there's no bran on the outside to give us fiber. And there's no germ in there to give us essential fatty acids or help us assimilate the food. There's all endosperm. So it's a lot of fluff with no fiber to move that stuff out of our system. Mm-hmm. So when you go and you're shopping for the bread and the pasta and things like that, if you eat grains, you want them to be whole grains. Now, it's true that sometimes these grains are easily digestible if they are refined for some people, especially for older people. But that just means that you need more soluble fiber in your diet. And soluble fiber is the fiber that turns into a gel because it absorbs water. So that's the type of fiber that you can get from fruits. That's the type of fiber that you can also get from your vegetables, some vegetables, and seeds. Seeds, like chia seeds, if you soak them in water, they'll turn into a gel because they have soluble fiber. That is a carbohydrate. But without that, people are constipated because they keep eating the refined grains. They keep eating that pasta that doesn't have any bran or germ in it. So it's the type of pasta, it's the type of rice that we're eating. You know, the black rice, the wild rice, or the brown rice, that is a whole grain compared to the white rice.
Saesha,
Even, mhm.
as you continue, I want you to come back to what is the deal with the brown rice that all of a sudden brown rice is not good for you?
You know, for some people, it could be that it creates mucus in their system. For me, it creates mucus. So sometimes I actually eat the white rice, but it's not white rice. It's actually basmati, is jasmine, because its composition isn't like white rice. It's similar to it nutritionally, but it acts more as a starch than a refined grain in the body. So blood sugar might not spike as much with that, but it's easier to break down. And so whole grains can be kind of tough for people, but they have to find what's right for them. And when you eat white rice, it's kind of like it's turning to glue in your system. You know, you need fiber to go with that. So I'm not sure what's good for certain people. They have to figure it out by actually eating these things. Do you eat brown rice?
That was and short grain brown rice. I didn't know when I went to Dr. Kifa, down there at the water station, and I was asking about the short grain, and that's when I found out that there's a season for short, and otherwise it was the long grain. Well, Philip, my husband, didn't want the long grain. He wanted only the short grain. Well, like I said, I didn't know that that it is seasonal. And then now recently there's something in brown rice that I'm gonna make sure I find that out what it is, so I can bother you next week.
Okay.
Because there's some, I don't know, a chemical or something that's not good for you that is in the brown rice. What is it?
What about smelling?
Something was about to burn, but what is in the brown rice, honey? Phil, what's in the brown rice that is not good?
Whatever it is, it's not good for your gut.
Oh, okay. He said whatever it is not good for your gut. Okay, so I'll find out what the technical word is. But I've been, I enjoy brown rice and will stand away from the white rice, like you said. And then I did learn about the basmati and that there are different brown rices. Yeah. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, and once again, it's just a matter of finding out what's good for you, because if we eat too much of anything, kind of like almonds, if we eat too much of anything, it can build up certain toxins in our body. That's why variety is so important in the diet, because we can have staples, right? But those staples, we have to be careful with them and make sure that there aren't toxins that come with those foods by the way they're processed or where they're grown, or just what they might naturally contain, like maybe with the brown rice. So if you know that to be true, brown rice shouldn't be an everyday thing. It might not be an every other day thing. It might be a once a week type of meal, that you include. But getting back to the fiber and getting back to the starch. The starch is actually what helps your body keep from spiking the blood sugar, because it takes longer for your body to break it down. It kind of releases it over time, the energy that you need, instead of sugar that just spikes your blood sugar as soon as you consume it, because it goes directly into your bloodstream. Fiber is what helps actually keep you fuller longer. So when people say, oh, I'm trying to lose weight, I'm trying to stay away from carbohydrates, but they're not getting fiber, and they're trying to figure out why they're hungry all the time, it's because they don't have anything that's sustaining them. Now protein is important and fat is important as well. And you need good sources of that. You need clean sources of that. But the carbohydrates are also important as well. A lot of people are doing keto now because they want a quick fix to weight loss. And they just have to be careful. Keto came from children who are epileptic. That means they have seizures and they're not responding to the medication. They want to come off the medication. So a low carb diet and a diet that's higher in fat is what they're put on. But they're put on that diet under medical supervision. We're able to see the type of levels that are in their blood, so everything's monitored. When people are doing keto and they have no education on what it means or on how much protein, how much fat, and they don't realize what's good fat and what's bad fat, what's good protein and what's not. And I don't want to say good or bad, because it's all in how you use it, but it's the types of protein and fat that you take in. And they're doing that and they're not getting enough of one thing or the other, and they're not sustaining themselves well. And so they are adding to the risk of heart disease or heart attack when they're doing this diet, and they don't understand how to go about doing it, because they don't know the science behind food, and they don't know the science behind just how their bodies are absorbing things and using things. Keto is when your body uses ketones instead of glucose for energy, and that comes from the liver. And it's something that can be really, really good for diabetics, because now you're training your mind and your body to switch its metabolism. Instead of burning that glucose, it's looking for the fat, because there's not enough glucose available from carbs. But that can give you brain fog, and that can give you constipation if you're not eating enough vegetables. People are always wondering, when you're doing a plant-based diet, how do you get your protein? But plants make protein. These animals that are huge, they eat plants. They don't eat other animals. The strongest animals don't eat animals, they eat plants. So as long as you have a well-balanced diet, then you can go ahead and eat plants. As long as you're getting enough calories in, you can eat plants and still have enough protein. And that protein source is cleaner. But when you're on a ketogenic diet and you're eating steak and you're eating all these really, really fatty meats, and you're not cleaning your body out, you're not drinking enough water, then you can set yourself up for your blood vessels to be damaged. You can set yourself up for kidney stones. You can set yourself up for a lot of different discomforting negative health effects. So it's important that you have balance, that you talk to a dietitian, that you consult with your doctor and find out if it's a good thing for you. A lot of diets aren't sustainable. People are doing this keto diet, they lose all the weight, they come back off of it, and now they've gained all their weight back because they didn't change their lifestyle, because they're not moving their bodies, because they're not getting enough sleep. So a diet alone isn't going to cure you, because, you know, your lifestyle, you need a holistic approach to your health and wellness. Now, I will say diet is very, very, very important. And it's something that it gets overlooked too often. But if a diabetic gets on a ketogenic diet, they may be able to come off their medication because their insulin is now being used by the body in ways that once it was resisting it. So once your body starts to become more insulin sensitive, and insulin is the hormone that basically helps your blood sugar keep from spiking.
Mm.
Once your body becomes more insulin sensitive, it doesn't have issues regulating the sugar that comes into your system. And once you train yourself to avoid those refined grains that we talked about and that straight up table sugar that's, you know, in these different drinks and just in, you know, the desserts, your body will start to adjust again to the insulin that's being put out, and you'll be able to feel better, and your blood vessels can, you know, recover and get healthier. But it's something that once again should be a lifestyle change, not a quick fix. So that's another thing. But I just want people to understand that carbohydrates are important, that you need fiber, which is a carbohydrate, that you need starch to keep your blood sugar from spiking. And then sugar has its place too. Sugar is a comfort food. It's instant gratification. It's instant energy for, you know, doing a workout. But I need everyone to understand that you keep taking sugar in, is going to boost your, especially if it's artificial sugar, it's going to boost your appetite. It's going to make you hungry because your body is pumping out all this insulin, is trying to, you know, use everything, and it uses it up fast. And that is going to in turn have you looking for something else to eat. And so people gain weight when they use these artificial sugars, because your body is like, I don't really know what's going on, but I need something else. You didn't give me any sustenance. So it might fill you up, you know, something that's refined might fill you up, but it's just filling you up with sugar.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's just something that we need to talk more about. You know, there are people who've been on the keto diet for a while and they found a balance, and they may not always be in ketosis, meaning their body might not always be burning the ketones, you know, using the ketones for energy, but they've done it to a point where the carbohydrates aren't an issue for them because they know how to use them. They know how their body is going to respond to it. And, you know, that weight is able to come off, and they're able to keep it off because they've made a change to how they approach eating altogether, you know, and that's just how they live their lives. When you yo-yo diet, that means you try this, oh, it didn't work, I'm going to try this, oh, this is the new fad, I'm going to try this. You're not giving your body, it takes 3 weeks for you to go into ketosis. If you're doing the ketogenic diet right, it might take you about 3 weeks to start burning the ketones instead of the glucose. So, you know, people might try the diet for a couple weeks or 3 weeks, and now they don't know what's happening with their bodies because they aren't, you know, staying the course. So they're jumping on and then they're jumping off. That's why it's important to have guidance during this whole thing, because you can't go into something not knowing the physiology of your body. You can't go into something not knowing how you need food. So, and the different types of food.
Yeah, Saesha, what are ketones? I don't know what ketones are.
Ketones are what the body produces when it switches from using glucose to burning fat. And that is what's stored in the liver, and that's what gets released for your body to use. So it's a different form of fuel for the body. Just like glucose, you have glucose, you have glucose that your body uses, you have fat that your body can use. Your body can also break down protein into amino acids and use that to build things. So everything gets broken down into different forms.
Mhm.
There are no essential fatty acids. There are essential fatty acids, but there are no essential carbohydrates. So certain things your body can synthesize and certain things you have to take in because your body can't produce them. But your body can break down the fat, and then that creates the energy in the form of ketones, and then your body can use it.
Oh, okay. Because Fame is doing that.
Yeah, he asked me for a ketogenic smoothie, and I was able to make that for him and take it to him.
Oh, nice. And then I
Yeah.
saw a friend when I hadn't seen them in months.
Mhm.
And I walked in and he was like so slim, I didn't even recognize him.
Mhm.
And his wife is a very good cook, and not healthy cook, but
Mhm.
very good. It tastes delicious.
Tastes good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so he just asked her, because he enjoys her food so much, but then he just asked her, could you prepare for the way I need to eat now? And it's still delicious.
Mhm.
So I think that's the other thing, is they a lot of people who need the meat
Right.
and the sugar and all of that, feel like the food won't taste good, is as though we live for taste, right? We enjoy taste, but we compromise because we need it to taste a certain way, and we give up our health in order for it to taste good for us, when there are herbs and stuff that you can blend or put in your food that will give it that same taste.
That is true, but I will say that your body prepares to digest the food better when you have a feeling that it's going to taste good. It is important for our food to taste good.
Yeah.
We assimilate it better when it does. And food isn't just for nutrition. Food is an emotional connection. It's a cultural connection. So when we're looking for a food to taste good, that helps us desire it. That helps us consume it. However, people who are, in need of meat, like you say, in need of meat, everything that we do to make that meat taste good comes from plants, the herbs, the seasonings, the spices that we use. It's all coming from plants. So the same thing that you use to make the meat taste good is the same thing you use to make the vegetables taste good. The same thing that the same textures that you're looking for from meat, you can get a lot of those similar textures from vegetables. So it's just someone has to be open-minded enough to try new things and to understand the function that these things have in their lives and in their bodies. For me, I haven't been eating meat. Chicken has been a weakness for me for a while. I'll stay away from it, then I'll come back to it. I'll smell some fried chicken and be like, oh, I'm gonna need some chicken. But I have to listen to my body. Chicken doesn't do me good. I might love chicken. Chicken doesn't love me. And it's hard to find chicken that isn't, tainted with all these chemicals and these antibiotics and these pesticides and the things that they eat. And, because their fat becomes our fat. So if they don't have healthy fat and they're selling us meat that is cancerous, but they're cutting the cancer out and here, have the rest of it, all those hormones are still there, and everything that those animals have as far as toxins, they get stored in the fat. There are no healthy animal products. Let me just put that out there. As much as we want to say, oh, I got this organic, this and that, there are no healthy animals, especially now, the way our earth has been so devastated and polluted, and just, it's our garbage can. You know, the ocean, how many oil spills, how many things have we put in there that are still there accumulating, that takes centuries to get rid of, and all we keep doing is dumping and dumping and dumping. Those fish are filtering, you know, gallons of water as their drink. They're filtering that stuff. They're taking that in. It's going into their fat. And they're like, oh, eat fish for omega-3s, but the fish get it from the algae. You know, the fish get it from the plants. And the plants are cleaner because they don't store fat. You know, they have cellulose, you know, they have fiber that we can't break down, that feeds our digestive system, but they don't have, you know, a fat source to store all those chemicals. The bigger the fish, the worse it is, you know, for mercury, other heavy metals, and just, you know, toxins that we just cannot get rid of. It continues to build up in our system. So we have to be mindful of that. Our pregnant women, or women who want to be mothers, who want to conceive, we have to be mindful of nutrition. The men we lie with, we have to be mindful of their nutrition. They have to be mindful of it, because you need good quality sperm to meet a good quality egg, and a good quality body to bring forth the baby, you know, to full term, so that that baby comes out healthy, so that you're able to give that baby what it needs.
Wow.
Everything
We need you in front of a whole bunch of young people. That
But
what
you know what?
broke down right there is it's not about, I mean, you know, we want our men or our ladies to be beautiful,
Yeah.
you know, looking and all that, but when
Mhm.
that what you just said about the sperm and the egg being healthy,
Mhm.
that's good stuff.
You know, it's important. Your nutrition 3 months before you conceive a child is so important. And, you know, people are like, they're already having health conditions before they conceive, before they have children. And then when they have difficulties in pregnancy, when they have gestational diabetes, when they have preeclampsia, they have high blood pressure in their pregnancy. All of this could have been avoided if, you know, your diet was different. If you moved your body, if you strengthened your body, you know, if you became more flexible, you bounce back better after pregnancy when you take care of your body before you get pregnant, during the pregnancy, and then, you know, after, you'll bounce back better. So it's just important that our women don't settle for anything less. If we want to have healthy babies, and if we don't want to die, you know, bringing forth these beautiful children, we have to take care of our bodies. And the men that we conceive children with, they need to be healthy. So all this talk about, you know, how men pass away sooner than women, it's not a coincidence. We have to take better care of ourselves. We all need to make sure that we, you know, I would say go to the doctor. I say that because a lot of people find things out too late. You need to know your blood pressure. You need to know your blood sugar. You need to, because we're not mindful of what we eat on a regular basis and how it's affecting our body, the habits that we have. People eat impulsively and say, oh, I'm hungry. Let me go get something to eat. Oh, this is right here. Let me pull up. If you're in the hood, you're pulling up to a McDonald's, a KFC, a Wendy's, you know. You're not pulling up to a place that has vegetables. There might be a little bit of lettuce on that sandwich. There might be a little bit of tomato if you don't toss it off. You know, they might give you a couple onions, but most of your diet, most of that meal is going to be carbohydrates that are refined, that have sugar, that have chemicals, that have that processed meat. Processed meat is up here when it comes to cancer foods, and people eat burgers all the time, and
Yeah.
they don't just get a single patty, they get the triple stack.
Yeah, right.
And all those things, because of all those chemicals and all that sugar, it makes you hungry again sooner. So now you're looking for something else to eat. Are you still out and about, or are you cooking something the next time you go to eat? Well, I had Wendy's. I haven't, they have a breakfast menu now. I went and got me some Wendy's, and now, it's lunchtime. Ooh, I think I want some Tubbies. And I'm not trying to say you shouldn't eat fast food, but you shouldn't.
Yeah,
I understand. I understand. Listen, I understand that sometimes we get caught, because we are so busy, and that's the thing, convenience. But convenience will kill you if you let it. So what's convenient is you going out to shop for the things that are whole foods, and you prepping, being prepared is what's going to keep you healthy and living a good quality life. People are like, oh, my grandma, she used to eat meat, and she used to eat this, and she used to eat that. She knew where it was coming from. They raised those chickens. They didn't use those chemicals. It didn't take 80 steps to get to your plate. It only took maybe one or two. And so it's just something that we might not get back to. We might not get back to having our own gardens and raising our own chickens, because the daily grind might not allow us to. But if we're making money, we should be able to go and buy those whole foods. And most of what we eat, even if it's throwing a potato in the oven, getting some frozen veggies out the fridge, and grabbing some pre-mixed salad and calling it a meal, that's better than going out to these fast food restaurants all the time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But I just want to say that the carbohydrates, getting back to the carbs, there are vitamins, there are minerals, there is water, there are things that help you stay fuller longer and reduce cholesterol and reduce the bad fats in your system when you choose the right things. There are still benefits yet to be discovered in these carbohydrates, especially high fiber foods, because the fiber is what feeds the good bacteria in your body. Cellulose is what we can't break down, that comes from plants. So when we eat that, even though it passes through our system, it's kind of like a broom. It's kind of like something that cleanses us from the inside. Everyone's like, oh, I need a detox. I need a detox. You probably do if you're not getting enough fiber, because most of our immune system is in our gut.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't eat carbohydrates and you don't get that plant fiber, you're not giving your healthy bacteria anything to eat. When you eat those carbohydrates and it's all refined grains, you're not giving you're actually changing your microbiome for the worse. You're changing how the bacteria in your gut functions. There's over 100 trillion bacteria. It's more cells, it's less cells that we have in our body than bacteria on us and inside of us. Mm-hmm. So you're basically walking bacteria. If you don't feed the good bacteria, you will start to experience leaky gut. And leaky gut is when things that are supposed to be contained within your intestines leak into your bloodstream. This could mean that you're poisoning yourself and you don't even know it. And when when the integrity of your intestines is compromised, then sickness and illness and these things that can cause cancer, all of that can occur, and it could just build up until you become toxic. Mm-hmm. So it's important for us to get that fiber and feed the good bacteria so we can keep that morale up in our immune system. And we don't get that from French fries, but we do get that from, beans. We do get that from legumes. We do get that from seeds. We do get that from nuts, green leafy vegetables, peas, things like that. We have to have those things.
Mm-hmm. Saesha, can we open it up to any questions for a minute? You sisters have any questions or comments you want to share?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to add something onto what you were saying. Getting back to the rice, the brown rice, there was an Indian doctor, they would do diagnosis through the pulse. And he asked me not to eat brown rice. Something about our inability to break it down is what I understood. And to the protein, the keto diet, the protein, now I was reading Dr. Jewel Pookram's book,
Mhm.
and what she talked about as far as protein in indigenous people is that our cells are more tightly packed together than the Caucasians. So the Caucasians can eat things and it'll go through their system easier. But for us, it gets stuck in our gut. And so what most people advise that if you are going to eat meat, is that you should add a raw salad with it in order to encourage it to pass through the gut easier. Now, she spoke of the leaky gut. I have leaky gut. 85% of our indigenous people have leaky gut. And it is caused by an upset in what Saesha said, an upset in the microbiomes in the system. And since 85% of our immune system is in the gut, we get sick. So anything below the waist, to my understanding, is caused by a leaky gut. So you have a hip problem, and the hips eventually have to be replaced. That's caused by leaky gut. The appendix, which is a portion of our immune system, if that is flared up, that's caused generally by a leaky gut. Now, the leaky gut in the intestinal tract is because of a thinning wall of the intestines, and the food gets through into the bloodstream, poisoning the rest of the system. Or because there is a valve between the small intestine and the large intestine, the food going from the small intestine through the large intestine is backing back up. And it's not supposed to. That valve is supposed to control it. And for me, my valve started malfunctioning as a result of stress, high stress. And I was trying to take care of my husband, trying to keep him here, didn't want to let him go. This is another emotion behind the problem that causes the problem. So if you have like a feeling of not wanting to let somebody or something go, it causes a problem in the gut, because what does the gut do? It releases. So now I'm holding on too tight to my husband. I done healed him up from his masses and healing up from his poison from Vietnam, healed him up from the issues in his family, and he decided to leave anyway. So now I'm all stressed out. I moved into a private apartment to heal my body, and I'm having a problem. I got lupus, I got sarcoidosis in the lung, I got blurred vision, I got some of everything. Why? Because that leaky gut leaked all that in the bacteria back into my bloodstream, backed up in my liver. Of course, I didn't tell any of my family this, but now I'm healing.
Saesha's going like this.
Right.
We're on Oprah, right? She tells the
Right.
world.
So now I have, for the most part, healed that up, because I know now what the problem is. So can I now begin? Or do you have someone else?
Yeah,
'Cause
we just in a second, we'll make sure, see if other people have some questions. And But I want to ask you, Sunzie, how does it close? If you have holes, leaky, that means there's holes. How do you close those holes?
You have to put the proper microbiomes back in. Those, that's, well, I can go further, but if they have questions.
Go ahead, right, let's write. Is that fine, Saesha? Yeah, we're just writing. For those who do not know, this is Sunzie, and Sunzie is Saesha's mom. So Saesha didn't get all this just because she just went to school. It's been in her family, the healing and health and all of that. So she's joining us today. Razia is having some physical challenges, and she asked for all of our good energy to flow towards her, to her. So just keep her in your prayers and your thoughts. And who else could step in but Mama? So go ahead, Mama. And ladies, you know that if you have some questions, please, or comments, please raise your hand down at the bottom. I think everybody on here has been here so far before. Saesha, were you saying something before she started? Unmute yourself, I think. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Just that a lot of people experience depression. A lot of people experience, you know, some mental illnesses and things of that nature. A lot of that can come from eating the wrong carbohydrates and not having that proper bacteria in your gut. It's like having, they call it the forgotten organ, the good bacteria in your gut. So when people get on probiotics and they start eating better, they start to lose those symptoms of depression. They start to lose that brain fog. You know, they start to lose the symptoms of even dementia when they start to eat better and they start to move their body. So that's just one more piece that I wanted to mention for anyone who is looking for a reason to come up off of refined grains. And, you know, anyone who wants to just leave carbohydrates alone, you need the fiber, you need the starch for your health, both mental and physical. But I'm done.
Okay. So back to the leaky gut, and she just mentioned improper carbohydrate. White potato is the worst because it's like white sugar in the system. And when you eat it and you don't eat proper protein or other greens along with it, it will immediately spike your insulin into the system. And the insulin is, oh, sugar, 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 sugar. And it attacks the sugar. And then you have a low blood sugar real fast. So that's what white sugar and white potatoes do. And if you're getting your potatoes from McDonald's, it has so many chemicals in it. You can put it on the counter and it'll look fresh 2 or 3 years from now, just like it did when you first bought it. So it's, and then of course, the research has shown that we have human meat in McDonald's sandwiches. So I don't say anything when I see mothers buying their children these great Big Macs because they are trying to make it easier on themselves and their children. Oh my goodness. I just sit there and watch. They'll curse you out if you tell them you got human meat in this. What? Where do you come from? So, but on the issue of the protein, the keto diet, Dr. Bill Pukram was talking about how we cannot process that protein. Well, when that protein builds up in the system, it can cause an explosion in the heart, literally. And so people are having heart attacks. They don't understand why. And it's because of that protein. The body cannot, or at least most of our indigenous body can't break it down. So that's why it would be very important to load yourself up with water. And that will bring that protein level down to almost nothing. The same way white sugar, white salt, white flour, white. People say, well, you can't do salt to increase your blood pressure. Well, the white salt doesn't have the minerals, just like the white flour doesn't have the minerals. And so it's just important to know that we need the minerals. So back to the leaky gut. The leaky gut, leaking into the system, how do you stop it? You put the proper biomes back in. You let go verbally, emotionally of whatever it is you're holding on to too long. And you just say it. I had a problem and I was holding on too tight, so I'm ready to let go. And then after you do that, your leaky gut will most of the time close on its own once you realize that there was something that you were holding on to too tight. And so the other thing is they try to find so many things to heal up that leaky gut and the microbiomes. And I finally found the product because I'm dealing with the miraculous Michael Vincent every day. I'm co-authoring his book for him. He is in contact with a lot of other super physicians, people who used to be doctors that left the field. And through their research, they found a lot of valuable products for us to use. So Dr. Armstrong got on the phone and he started describing all of my symptoms. And they were all due to a leaky gut. And so he introduced us to this product that is by Noni, and it's called Go Love Life. Now this itself is a green powder, and you mix that with water and you shake it and you take that down, and then you have two other parts to it. This is another detox. Oh, you can't, I see the writing is backwards in here.
No,
But
we
you
see
take,
it.
you see it, okay.
Mhm. It says next.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the second portion of the product. And you take that, about 30 cc's worth, and you follow it by a third part, which is a balancer. And I tell you, when I took just 30 cc's of this, it almost knocked me out because my body needed it so much until it just sucked it in and just knocked me. I mean, I slept the whole day just with this balancer. So we have to be on this for about 90 days to ensure that the valve closes. Now, before getting this product, I was on a fast for about 8 days to try to give my gut a rest and allow that valve to close. But that valve still refused to close until I made the statement that I was ready to let go. And I feel the difference. So now I'm still taking this product in order to put the proper environment back into the colon and small intestine. The small intestine does most of the work. So, and while we're on digestion, chewing the food is very important because you can get a clump in your food and it'll go to the knee, and before long it's in your lungs as a clot. So we have to be very careful. The parotid glands, when you chew your food, it goes to the proper places in your body. But if you're just eating and eating and eating, you got lumps and clumps, it'll go to places in your body you don't want, like extra hips, extra gut, or whatever. So those tags, there are codes in the saliva that when you chew your food very well, it tells the food and all the particles where to go, where it's needed. So that's the first process of digestion for a purpose. So now you asked me to go into
Sunzie, I want to ask you a question first. And I guess I want to make a statement question. How about that? I want to ask a statement.
Okay.
Because you mentioned about the mind, and that when you came to the point, and I think this is really important, that you were ready to give up what wasn't benefiting you, whether it's, the emotion or whatever, all that stuff, that when you realized it, and you said, okay, no more, I release you, so that the goodness can come in and do what it needs to do. And I think that's really important, that we have to get to that point where we are saying, okay, I surrender to that. I release you. I see what you can do. I see what my mind can do if I stay here in my head. If I stay here in my emotions, it will destroy me. Because the mind is making those decisions and saying, yeah, go ahead and eat that. Yeah, go ahead and do this and stuff, so you'll feel better. And when we say, you know what, loving you is not working for me, or being, doing this and that in our minds and in our heart. But when we release that, then we can do the exhale and begin to eat, and that food will, food and drink and other things will be beneficial to you.
The medical doctors have not gotten to this yet, but they're finding out, because Dr. Michael Benson is just healing everybody. And then they want to come and find out, well, what is he doing? He's Black. He's not a medical doctor. He's just a chiropractor. Well, Dr. Michael Benson studied the Enochian method of healing, in which you have to fast and pray to get the answer. He's very, very, very intuitive. He can look at you and tell you that your ancestors want you to release this, that, or the other. This is how good he is. So the body is, when you get sick, initially, okay, 87% emotion and 13% nutritional. That's the basic cause of any illness. Wow. But it starts way out here with your emotion, and you keep holding on to it, and it keeps going further, and now it's deep into your cellular structure, causing a problem. So I'm one of his most premier students. And I had come with a few gifts of my own in healing, healing an infant niece who couldn't take milk after arguing with a sister. And when we held the niece in our arms and prayed over her, she was able to take milk, all kinds, in an hour. So all of us possess that through the emotional realm. How emotional are you? How deep do you feel in this? Let's take it and make it work positively for us instead of negatively. So you have what we call seraphots on your fingers. They have certain energies here in the center. And so it comes through some of us easier. So this is why I'm able to lay hands on people and they feel great. Okay, so the 87% emotional. If anybody has pain here today, I can demonstrate to them how that works. But every body part has a code, an emotional code. And all I have to do is tap into that emotional code and your pain is gone. Do we have anyone here today that has pain? No one, okay.
Well, I just got off of mute.
Hi, Pam. Oh, Juanita.
Is it Sensei?
Sunzie,
Sunzie, I'm sorry. So the pain I'm dealing with, it's in my breast because of the breast cancer I'm experiencing. And I am in the process of offloading the spiritual, mental, emotional traumas, I'll just say, that have contributed to this state in my body. And so I know I could really benefit from some time with you, because you can help me get to my next steps on my journey. But you asked, is it anyone who's having pain? And so to answer that question, me, but just to give you the background on what the pain is and where it's from and where it is. So yes, me.
Okay, So which breast is it?
Left.
Left. Okay. The left side of the body represents the female side, the receiving side. The right side of the body represents the male side. So the
Okay.
breast in itself, the breast is a mothering tool on our bodies, and it can represent over-mothering.
Oh, you tagged me. Oh my God. Oh my God. I mean, like the world. She thinks that she got to mother the whole world. Oh, okay. Sorry for interrupting. Go ahead. But yeah, you tagged me.
Okay, so to get rid of that, you're going to have some nutritional substances. And I'm going to explain several modes of healing. There's nutritional, there is new technology that's out that works very well. But this product, HemoHim, was developed in Korea by some scientists that were practicing and experimenting with radiation.
Oh,
And they
wow.
found that they were losing their scientists because of the radiation. So what they did, they went and did some research on plants to find out which ones would work. They found a powerful plant in Korea. They found another powerful plant someplace else, and another powerful plant. And they put them all three together. They worked synchronistically. And they found that it cured their scientists that were on their deathbed with the with the radiation. And the newer students that came in did not get sick. So this HemoHim product has been going to every part of the body where it is needed, except
HEMO.
HIM.
Okay, thank you.
And you could get that through me. So
Thank you.
what happened, they found that the people that were dying of cancer on their beds in the last stage, they were healed in a month and a half.
Wait.
And they said, well, okay, if the cancer patient said, well, if it helps me with that, can I triple or double the dose? So they found that if they took at least 4 to 6 packs of this a day, that they could get rid of their cancers in no time.
Wow.
In a matter of 1.5 to 6 months. And
so
so I got on this product and it dropped my blood pressure. So it's an excellent treatment for people who are having problems with their blood pressure. It dropped my blood pressure about 20 points in the bottom number. And that bottom number represents the rate at which your heart is able to rest in between the beats.
Oh, wow.
So your heart, if your blood pressure is high, is the rate is you're not resting. The cardiovascular system is not resting properly. Okay, so as far as the pain is concerned, I can try to decrease it today, but you're going to have to get on a nutritional supplement and release that emotion of over-mothering. So before I do that, there's something that I do called cortices. And I can bring people out of comas with it. We had a gentleman here, I call him a gentleman, who took a woman into his apartment hostage. And they had all type of police here. He finally released her, but he wouldn't come out of his apartment. So the policeman had went from city police to state police, and they were just tired. And I knew that they were about to kill this man. So I went into his mind by doing the cortices, and I started talking to him. I said, you need to give up because they're about to kill you. And if you don't give up, they're going to storm you, and either you're going to die or you're going to jail. I said, which one is best? You want to die right now or just go to jail and fight it out? through the court system. I said, because for sure you're going to die because they're tired. He gave up, and 20 minutes, this parking lot was clear from police.
Wow.
There are certain things you can do, like the mind is like my gift. So when there were people out in front of my apartment when I was living with Saesha, police would come and put people in their car. And I would literally stand there and chant and protrude my thoughts into the police officer and say, put that man back in his car. Put that man back in his car, let him go. Put that man back in his car and let him go. And he did.
I know we can do that. Our pastor at the Temple of I Am was teaching that in the early years, but we weren't ready for it. We were misusing it. And so he just focused on teaching us how to love each other.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm so glad to have connected with you. Let me see. I'm going to put my phone number in a chat message to you because I don't want to be absorbing so much of the conversation today.
Yeah, we're fine. We are, if she's going to do some work and demonstration, we want to, we want you to get what you need to get. And if someone else has some questions or, just raise your hand and then I'll interrupt, at a particular point for you to share as well. But for what she asked for, and you said you were willing to and needed, then yeah, we're fine.
Okay. I'm putting my phone
I
number
just
in
wanna
the
If you just
chat.
give me your phone number, we can exchange, and so we don't hold up the group.
Okay, well, I think Queen Mother Adoni is kind of guiding us to go on with what you suggested. I did just put my phone number in there in a direct message to you. The only thing, Sheila, I'll say, the information that we put in the chat and stuff, it will be so helpful to me if we could get the recordings. Because whatever we don't get in our time together, if we don't catch it right then we're not able to refer back to the recording to get back to it. Like I didn't get a chance to get Mama Razia's phone number, and Mama Razia, I need to talk to you. So Mama Razia, I'm gonna send you my phone number too.
Okay. But yeah, Razia's not on today. And she needs everyone's prayer. But let me say that the videos are posted on, all of them are on there. I mean, as I do them, like all of last 2 weeks are on the Elizabeth Visionary Conference.
Cool, I didn't know that. Cool, thank you.
I don't know about the chat, but there's some way where where it says more under the chat, you can say you want to save the chat, but I don't know how to bring it back up. But the video, it is there for everyone.
That's great, because you did give Mama Razia's phone number on the video, so I won't call her now. I will pray for her. Thank you for letting us know where we need to be in relation to each other. Thank you.
And I'll give her a call and see what I can do to help her. Okay.
Okay, thank you. But now we don't want to miss out on what you said we could do now that Queen Mother Adoni said we can do now. It's okay with her. I don't know if you need to guide us, Adoni, into what you said we can do now.
Sunzie, she's got it.
Okay.
And she can determine how much she wants to do. And like I said, if I see someone has questions, then they know how to put their hand up, and then I will interrupt. I mean, I will interrupt.
What were you saying we could do now, though?
Whatever.
Well, I was going to attempt to decrease your pain.
Thank you.
But
it's not a lot of pain, but it's there.
Okay, but you have cancer cells that are constantly eating away at the tissue. So it's only going to be so much I can do for that. but there is something that we can do for that. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. So, the eyes are represented in the nipple.
Oh,
So
wow.
your breast would be represented in the eye surrounding that. So if I had an eye problem, I would tap out the right eye with the left nipple and vice versa. So everybody has a body reciprocal. So the shoulder would be the hip, the knee would be the elbow, the hand would be the foot, etc. So right now, I'm going to tap out your left breast pain through the right eye. And what I
So-
need to know from you is, what is your level of pain in that left breast from 1 to 10, with 10 being the worst? And can you describe the pain? Is it sharp, heavy, dull? Because the mind needs to know all of that.
So it's only about a level 2, maybe level 3. It's a little bit of a throb going on that, kind of maybe intensifies and then subsides.
Okay.
Then there's a little bit of burn going on,
A little bit of what?
little bit of burning sensation,
Okay.
a little bit of that. It's not a whole lot of pain. It's not to the point that I feel like I need to take any pain medicine, but it was kind of my segue to kind of connect with you, because I know that there is, deeper pain, there's emotional pain and whatnot, that you tagged it, stop over mothering. But so I'm at my right eye.
Yes, so you're at the right eye. These fingers have energy. You're gonna tap that right eye.
Am I
And
tapping the
repeat.
bony area, or am I tapping the
Bony area,
eyeball?
yes.
Okay.
Or the fleshy part, whatever part of you can tap. And repeat after me.
Okay.
Left breast pain,
Left breast pain,
which is throbbing and burning
which is throbbing and burning
at a level 2,
at a level 2,
due to
due to
the diagnosis of cancer,
the diagnosis of cancer,
due to
due to
my inability
my inability
to stop over mothering.
to stop over mothering.
And what is the pain level now? Okay, you can stop tapping and tell me what your pain level is in your breast now.
It is maybe a 1.
Okay.
It
Let's do it again.
okay.
Left breast pain
Left breast pain
that was throbbing and burning
that was throbbing and burning
is now down to a 1,
is now down to a 1,
due to
due to
my inability to stop over mothering.
my inability to stop over mothering.
I am ready to stop over mothering
I am ready to stop over mothering
and go forward with my life.
and go forward with my life.
And what is the pain now? You can
It's still about a 1.
Okay.
What I experienced while doing that is I experienced a release. I felt where the tension in my shoulder, in my left shoulder, was kind of driving the pain, and I felt the need to release when you said stop over mothering. I felt that release and that relaxation in the shoulder, and that brought the pain down a little more.
Then that's going to improve over the next few days.
Amen.
but I still would advise you to do something about that. Okay, because that energy, once you release, you'll see a whole new change in your system. Things will just start changing. Social workers who listen to people all day long, they get the kind of cancers that are irretractable because they never go home and release it all those years. They don't take salt baths, they don't do anything. When I was a younger massage therapist, I was doing massages on women from like 6 in the evening to 2 in the morning. And when I got home, I was peeing blood, literally, until I took that salt bath. Whenever you're, there are energies that we pick up with each other when we hug each other. We're unaware of it. And we're shaking each other's hands, we're holding each other, and we don't release those energies from around us. And there are certain, like India, they do this so that they don't have to touch you. They don't even take certain things from you, like soil or things like that, because the energy is in there. So energy is so important when it comes to illness and healing. And, I sage my apartment, and sometimes the sage doesn't work, depending on type of energy. People are supposed to take the shoes off before entering, because Spirit told me that when you're walking outside, you're walking across people that murder and rape and pillage, and then you walk that energy into your home. That's why I have people take their shoes off. And whenever I get something like that, I always get confirmation. And they say that's why the Chinese take their shoes off, not only because of the dirt, but because of the energies. So this is energy medicine, and this particular technique that I have just about mastered by working with Dr. Vincent is called epigenetics. And
EPI,
epigenetics, huh?
EPI.
Yes, EPIGENETICS, epigenetics, which means above the cell. We're working above the cell in order for it to work inside the cell. So, and, but I am co-authoring that manual for Dr. Vincent because he's been doing this for years, and I can tell it's wearing on him. So, Linda Sheila, that did the manuals and all of that. So she and I paired up. I give her the info and she organizes. She has a gift for organizing information very well.
Mhm.
And I wasn't planning on doing this, but when she asked about it, I said, yeah, we could take the stress off of Dr. Vincent, and I can ask him for all the rest of the classes for free if I just put it in the book, and he agreed. So people are, charging large amounts for this, and he's not charging what, $333 per class, and you're getting all you need to stay out of the hospital. The injections that people were receiving for COVID, that is a bioweapon people were dying of. He's getting people off of the ventilator over the phone.
Oh
and
my
he's
God.
taught me how to heal that aspect from COVID. It's not the COVID, it's the vaccine. So all of the 29 countries, 209 countries,
Yeah, 209. Mm-hmm.
took their government to court to prove that this COVID was killing people, and they couldn't prove it. It was bioweapon. And we tried to talk people out of the bioweapon, and they went through it because of pressure from family, or because they really didn't, they were listening to the news and Biden was going, yeah, take it, take it, take it, because their goal is to kill us, and especially us, which we don't understand, because, I could go into so much about these hospitals. And I just, I gave my license away because I'm not going to be a part of their murder. Okay, that's the bottom line.
Medical apartheid.
Yes, and people that are trained have confidence in what they've been trained, but you have to look, you have to see what's going on. Because if they don't want you to go in and teach people, your patients, that they can do this, that, or the other, and they can heal, get them up off that bed, then they don't really want them to be healed. They'll take your license from you. So I said, here, you take my license, and then I can go on doing what I want to do in the healing realm. So here we are. So any questions before going on to the technology?
Well,
Okay.
I do want to say that this was years ago. I was having, I mean, it was excruciating pain all the time. And so someone had told me about a gentleman that that can heal over the phone. And I called, you know, because I believe in divine healing. You know, I believe that there's no distance except for physically, you know, there's no distance between you and me, and you know, and and I'm sure because I understood that and I believed in that, it made it easier. But yes, over the phone, that man told me what to do, what the vision, you know, do the tapping, do this, that, and the other, and that pain was gone.
Yes,
It was gone. So there is no that you have to physically touch me. We just have to touch in the spirit.
that's right.
You know,
And we're all connected. So
yeah.
we could take one woman and lay her on the table and tap out hundreds of thousands of people who's watching that,
Yes. Yeah.
and they can get the healing simultaneously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any questions, sisters? Any comments? Any experiences you want to share?
I have a question. This is Yaba.
Yeah.
How do you do? What do you do? Hey, Sunzie.
Hey, darling.
I love you, girl. I gotta come to Detroit and check you out. I want to know, how do you work with your eyes?
Oh, your eyes. Okay. I have been having problems with my eyes, and I know Dr. Vincent tapped out a blind man, and now his vision is better than mine. However, when I tried to do mine, it didn't work. And the reason is because the cause is still ongoing in the gut, which, you know, got into the liver, which got into this. And so I'm working that out. But the right eye is the left nipple. And you say, I don't want to see the truth. I don't want to see it because I don't want to see the truth about him. It's the left eye. You're working on the left nipple. And you say, I don't want to see the truth. I didn't want my well, you go like this. My vision is blurred at between 1 and 10 at a number 6 or 8. And you have skin to skin. So your finger is on your left nipple while you're on your right nipple while you're on the left eye. And you're saying, I don't want to see the truth about her. I don't want to see it. And that's why my vision is blurred to a level 8 or whatever. And then you pick up a document to see if you can read it better. I got a eye chart in my apartment in case my eyes decide to get better. So I am on a lot of different substances to change all of those things around. And because it took time to develop, it may take a little time to get rid of it, but in many cases, it starts doing better. So what I do is the cortices, and doing that every day started improving the eyes more and more every day. So I'll have to teach you about the cortices, or you can always get involved in Dr. Vincent's classes. And his next one, I think he'll start is on the 16th. It may go up because he'll have the manual. The manual will be expensive. I'll just say that. But along with the classes, you'll get all the training and knowledge you need to stay out of the hospital. And then the only reason you should have to go is in case you had an accident and if something is broke like this and you got to go and have it fixed, you know, or a heart attack or a lung problem. You know, we can tap out those emergencies too. And like, if someone does, I'll call 911 anyway, but still tap those things out. And the person can be passed out from an accident and I can tap him and he'll come to and look directly at me because he'll know that I was the one that did it. This is how energy is so potent. That evil eye is potent. That those evil words that we speak, the English language, is potent. We curse each other every day just using that English language, you know. So I took it upon myself because the Spirit told me we need to learn Hebrew, which is in our DNA. And actually, the 22 Hebrew alphabet is what we can also use to heal our bodies. It is used in the Enochian method of healing to heal your body. We call it out, 22 Hebrew alphabet when we're doing that. So there's so much that I wanted to learn, so much I have learned, and I'd be happy to pass it on to you all. And we're going to be teaching this on what we call the XOD network, which is an indigenous man. He found that he was giving up all his time and energy to all of these other platforms when all he had to do was open one up for himself. And now he's got an audience of 2.6 billion people on the network. And if you were to pay $200,000 for a network, you could get that money back in no time by having people pay $1.44 in these households to watch you and get healed. This is what I just did for this, what's your name?
Juanita.
Juanita.
Mhm.
We could do for the whole network and gain lots of funds. So I'm just saying, there are a lot of things we can do. And because we need to bring ourselves up out of these holes that we've been in, we got to stop calling ourselves Black, because there is no law that will protect you when you calling yourself something that you're not. We are not Black. We're not African American. We're not Afro-American. We're not Negro. We're not any of that. We are indigenous natives, American indigenous natives. That's what we are. Go ahead.
Mama Ayaba, are you complete?
Unmute yourself.
Unmute yourself, babe. Unmute yourself.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm in the car with cell phone, so
Yeah.
okay, I'm here. I said, oh, yeah, I'm good. I just want to get her phone number so I can be more good. Is that such a thing?
Gotcha. I'll call you. I have your number. Okay, so now
I'm
to the healing.
I'm gonna put your number in here, and Pam has a question, Sunzie.
Okay.
Pam.
You have to unmute it.
Hi, Sunzie.
Hi, Pam.
You may have already answered this question, but I'm so shocked by what you and Saesha are saying that I might have missed it. But how does a person know when they have a leaky gut?
The symptoms, you will start to get more food sensitivities, passing a lot of gas, hip pain, blurred vision, more coughing, more skin rashes. You start breaking out. You might even have a low-grade fever. Problems in the right lower area of the body. You might mistaken it for appendicitis or something. You might have diarrhea or constipation, which, because it depends on what's leaking and what direction it's going, how much water you're drinking. You may have kidney infections because the bacteria is getting into all of the organs. So those are, and I'm sure I'm missing out on some of the symptoms. Cancer even can be caused by it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Sunzie, you wanna, I did pull up some, like the med bed. I pulled some of those things up, but you have something that where you want me to go and pull it up? Or some physical that you want to share?
No, but let me speak on the med beds a minute. Has anyone seen the movie The Day the Earth Stood Still? It was a black and white movie. They redid it again in color. And the movie was about an extraterrestrial that came to Earth to warn humans about negativity and the things that they needed to do to get better. And I took that as a serious warning that I think everybody else may have just seen as uh,
It was a
entertainment.
good movie.
Yeah. Okay. So if you remember, the guy got off of the spaceship, and of course, the American Army or the United States Army, they shot him. And this robot got off and put him, the robot got off the ship and took him. Now, he had been dead about 36 hours. And later on in the movie, they showed this robot laying him in this crib-like thing on the ship and bringing him totally back to life. Well, early on in the advertisement of the med bed, they told you how that if you were dead 36 hours or less, this bed could bring you back to life. Now they're not saying that. But this bed can also take you back as far as you like to go and restore your youth, replace any organ that has been removed, including your uterus and fallopian tubes and ovaries, if that's what you want. And then you can live for another 1,000 years like you were supposed to initially. So that is the top of the line med bed, but they have lesser versions, which cost less, few $1,000s, that you can put on your own bed. And eventually, over time, your energy will be restored. Your youthful energy will be restored, but it doesn't do what the top med bed does. And this technology was introduced to us through the extraterrestrials, which the government has been dealing with for years. People don't believe a lot of it, but my book is about how many of us as light workers or star seeds or indigos are from these different light systems that came down here to help humanity. And they are bringing a lot of the great technology. And I remember when I was living with Saesha and they have this place over in her neighborhood called the Village. And the Village had a lot of poetry going on, and people would get on the stage, good poetry, bad poetry, they get up there, curse each other out, and there would be men in the audience that came to hear the nasty portion of the poetry, So I said, well, let me get up here and say something positive. And I went up there, and a friend said, you should get up there and speak about diets and whatever. But I didn't do that because I had a little to drink and I wanted to tell the truth about some things. And I got up there and I started talking about extraterrestrials and how they were coming, and they were bringing new technologies here that had been kept secret, and how we would be able to do this, that, or the other. And the place was totally quiet. It's like they just wiped me out. Like, I don't believe anything you say, just get off the stage. So I got off the stage, and years later, one of the women who were in my audience, At Peace, you know her, she said, Mama Sunzie, I believed everything you said. And she said, and here we are today, receiving everything that you said would happen. I want to say, but you didn't speak up. But I didn't say that, because everyone wants to be accepted. Everyone wants to be right in the eyes of others. And as star seeds, we are the rebellious ones. We came to let you know the truth so that you can wake up and stop being dead. We don't want you to die. That's the bottom line. So the med bed was the top technology. Now they have some other technologies. One of them is called the Healy. I don't know if put it more in the light, okay. And they have these cords that you hook up to. You wrap this around it. You hook this to one end on your wrist and the other end to the Healy. And then you have one for the other wrist. And you hook it up. And I had a clamp on it, which came off. You're supposed to be able to walk around with it. And they have programs on this Healy for everything that you need. And they got it for pain, for bacteria, Cancer is not listed in there. It will even help to diagnose and fix your vehicle. And you can hook it up to your body or your pet. And it takes a picture of your face. You give them your birth date, the state and city that you were born in. And that energy, you have an energy pattern. And that energy, no matter how far away you are, will go directly to you and heal you. I had a friend who had a problem with his bladder. And I used a technology that was similar and he sent me his DNA. He sent me some hair and some nails. And I put it in this, what do we call it? I forgot the name of this particular machine that I have. And that energy went all the way to Tennessee where he was, and he stopped urinating all day long. He said he didn't believe it, but it stopped working for some reason. So that technology was not perfect, but it shows you the ability, if an enemy has it, if he has your face, your nails, your hair, and just think about voodoo. This is how they curse people, but you can do the same thing for healing. You can get you a doll, put your hair on it or whatever, and start tapping out those areas, that need healing. And we can heal people from long distances. So this healing, the thing that I don't like about it is the people that make it, they're always putting programs on it, and I have to reprogram it. And so I said, well, maybe I'm trusting it too much. Some people don't trust that. So, but it has been a lifesaver for me because with the kidney infections, I don't want to take antibiotics. So I just put it on bacteria and it'll get rid of the bacteria that's causing the problem for that day until it gets reinfected. It cost me, this cost $2,500 at first, and then it went up to $3,000. However, I got mine for free because I didn't have that much money. And a friend bought some for his family, and I was able to get this one for free. It's called Healing. This other technology is called the iTerra. And this works on the micro level inside your body. So they have one that's more expensive, and the energy is stronger. It works on scalar. So I turn it on low. I put it on my face and my hair. After I lost my husband, I lost a lot of my hair. After 5 days of putting this on my scalp, I could feel fuzz on the scalp, and my hair is now growing back. So I make sure I do this every day. A lot of other people, with the tapping method, instead of tapping, we can use the scalar energy. It also is supposed to be good if you scan your computer and your cell phone for radiation. It's supposed to make it healthier. You spray it every day, so you don't have to experience the radiation. I had a gentleman who was in his 90s. His legs were swollen like this, and so he used this for his microcirculation, and every day it got better and better, and now his legs are down to normal after about 2 months of use. But he didn't have to go to the doctor and take water pills, which is what they would have given you, which would have destroyed your kidneys, et cetera, et cetera. So that's 1, 2, 3 technologies that I talked about. There's also something called the AO scan that you can purchase, and it is downloaded on a phone and to your computer, and you can scan someone's face, date of birth. You send them the information, you send them your picture, which doesn't have a shadow. So you're taking your picture and on a white wall with no shadow. So you make sure you have proper lighting. And your birth date, where you were born, your email address, and a few more pieces of information. And then they can tell you, they send it to your email, sound therapy that will heal you for your specific problem. And they tell you exactly what you need to do in order to make your problem go away. They give you certain nutrients that are specific to your body chemistry. And when you take them, you feel better because your body needs it. So you start to heal. So there's that AO scan technology. You never need to go to the doctor to have any blood drawn, because once those physicians have your DNA, now they can weaponize the whole race. They can weaponize the whole race, which is what they're doing through the COVID injections. And they keep making it better. First, they say you can take one. Now they're saying you can take this and a booster and another booster. And I was just listening to the ignorance of our people here in this building. I live in a senior citizen building. And I'm listening to one woman tell another, yeah, you know, I took that booster and it almost killed me. And I got one more to take. When are you going to stop?
Wow.
When? And you got the whole team at Cass Tech falling down from because, you know, there's some people that are taking it now, they're passing that. That is what is catching the booster, the shedding. And so I take the pine needle oil, which will restore your DNA, hydrochloroquine, which is something you can boil slowly from the grapefruit hulls with lemon hulls. And there's something called ivermectin. There are, let me see, okay, at one point, when people were dying with this injection, they started giving out certain medicines to help, and it was killing people off. So I had a friend of mine who went in and they gave him this drug and he was dying. They actually sent him home to die. And I prayed over him and he got better, and now he's healthy again. So you have several forms of energy that can destroy you if you know, curses are real. So people can send energies to you. There are people who can teleport their bodies through your door and watch everything you're going on. These things are happening. And they're able to put these negative energies into your home. And this happened to me at a meeting. I was holding a meeting for how to get free from the system. And a woman who was jealous of the man, because she wanted him for herself and she wanted him to teach at her place. And he wouldn't do it because she was being manipulative. So she was able to transform into my apartment and watch everything that was going on. She put a curse on everybody at the class. Everybody fell sick, including me. And I fell down on the floor. I said, okay, if you want me to live and perform what I came here to do, then you need to make me well now. Thank you very much. And I was well in that hour. Another man I had to pray for, one member who never followed the instructions, he died. But everybody else gradually got better because I was told by someone what happened on the spiritual realm. So I started putting up some of my protective symbols over my door that was given to me by Yah. And he showed me that this woman was not going to stop sending these negative energies. So what ended up happening when I put up my symbols, she sent, believe me, when I tell you, some eagle to pass through my window in the spirit realm, and that eagle's head got cut off at the entry of my door. So you need to know that there are protective symbols. There are everything is energy. And the doctors will have you to believe that it's about a diagnosis that you need to get poison for, that you need to get radiated for, that you need to pay for them to diagnose through these major machines that they are sending energies through to destroy you, like the CAT scan. There was one woman, especially those of us who are rebellious, they know who we are. And so this one woman was going through the CAT scan, they put something in her, and then she was not able to walk. So I'm saying, be careful of your energy. Know what to do when you get in. There's something called black salt that you can use to get rid of negative energy. It has a very bad sulfuric smell, but you can feel that energy just lift off of you. So I would wet it and put it on me. I feel the energy left, and then I would shower. So these are different techniques that you all could use to make sure that your energy is good. So are there any questions so far?
Where can you get the black salt?
From different candle stores, or you can go online and just ask for black salt.
That's it.
There is other types of nutrition that we've been using for our diabetics. It's called seed therapy from the Rain Company. And we put diabetics on these products and they have no more diabetes. In 3 weeks or less, the diabetes is gone. The seed of a plant has 30% more nutrition than the plant itself. So the Rain Company has these seed products that work well. Gives you a lot of energy too. There's another product from this company called Life Wave. And these are patches that you wear. And these patches help to stimulate your stem cell. They hadn't found a way to do it without having to take some parts out and put some parts in. But these products are able to use your own energy to reflect back into the system to encourage your stem cell growth. And what I have recognized from it, because I've only been on it a month, is that it has decreased my food sensitivities. I wasn't even able to eat salmon. Now I can eat salmon again. So, and it's the guy said that it helps leaky gut over a period of time. And so it has been my experience, and from what the people are saying, even for these products that help leaky gut, is give it 90 days to restore the microbiomes in the gut properly. 90 days at least. Because you have to be doing everything else properly, thinking right, eating right. And that's why the Essenes, they did things differently in the caves at the Dead Sea. I was a scroll keeper, and my book is about a scroll that I thought I had lost. I'm opening up your eyes, people, for those of you who may not believe. Just ask whatever you believe in, your God, whatever, for the truth. Because a lot of us believe things that are not true, and we believe it with a whole crowd of people. And Spirit says, narrow is the way, and few there be that go therein, because we believe the hype. And the media is the biggest progenitor of all of this stuff, because we believe the TV. So somebody said, turn TV off. So I did. And I began to find the truth. I began to ask for it, meditate in it. you know, and you'll be surprised at the things that are revealed. You start working a job, you don't have time for that. They make sure you don't. Even on your off days, they're going to call you in for a meeting. So you don't have time to do anything but what you have to do. But meditation, I'm telling you, is a big part of our healing. Because when you're sitting still, I mean, I remember things that I do wrong to other people just by meditating on what is taking place the other day. And I had to call some people back and apologize to them. Because you're able to think and follow yourself through your activities. So I talked a lot. I'm finished.
Oh, that's beautiful. I have a video I'm gonna of an apparatus that is called I believe it's called the wand, and a friend of mine, this is him when he went to his mom. So I'm gonna
Is it like a crystal or is it like this and a larger silver?
yeah,
This
yeah,
is called a wand.
I was just wondering if it's just like that. It wasn't
It's
red.
an old, it's a more expensive version of this. This one was $328. The one that she's talking about is like 3,000.
No, I don't think it's that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think. I'm pretty sure because when I saw it, you know, I was checking it out. Here we go. Here.
Don't
make Brandon fall. Oh, yeah, but I'm walking like this right here. Yeah. I didn't even straighten up now. Walking like this right here.
Mama grabbing your foot. She grabbing your foot.
Don't make Brandon fall.
All right, and Mama, tell them what happened today. Hold on, before you go.
I was feeling like crap when my son got here. Oh, man. And now I'm feeling like a champ. Feeling like a champ. I'm feeling like a champ. I'm moving.
Come on, baby.
That's the same thing.
I'm moving.
Yeah.
That's the same thing as what I have here.
Hey, y'all wouldn't believe it. We just got this new device. I gave it to my baby for her Earth Day. It's called the wand. Come on over here, baby.
And it
That's what
worked.
this is.
Yeah, Mama
That's what I
said.
thought.
It worked.
You can see.
I was feeling bad when they got here. Now I'm feeling like a champ. For real. If you don't believe it, look at me now. Look at me now. Look at me now. Look at me now.
Hey, y'all, the
I'll
wine.
be crying next week, but I'm having fun right now.
Yeah, she actually been walking on. She actually been walking on the walker for quite some time.
Yes.
Yeah, she been walking on walker for a minute, but now as you can see what the wine will do.
Straight up and down,
So
baby. Yes.
we will be giving, if anybody here in Detroit or if anybody would like to know, we will be giving sessions, how we say, yeah, sessions. We'll be giving sessions if anybody really interested for a price. But it actually works.
Oh yeah, it definitely works.
Yeah, so
It's working on me right now as we speak.
I will be putting
It's
more
working.
information up in here as well as YouTube videos to let you understand. But let's see what we can show. What we got, baby. I
So
gave it to my baby for her Earth Day. Go ahead and let it be known,
This is
sweetie.
the iTerra Care, and it's a wand, and it works it's a high bright vibration tool, and that's what is no medicine, no rubs, no, just high vibration, heat or cool temperature, whatever one you prefer, and it works.
It definitely
works.
It works. It really works.
Only thing, y'all, I said to myself, we should have got it before now.
Yeah.
We should have got it before now.
Oh, maybe before when I was walking like this.
We came in the door,
When they
she
first got here, I couldn't move.
She could barely
And now
move.
I'm moving with no crutches, no wheelchair, no
35
nothing.
minutes.
I'm using my
35
own
minute
leg.
treatment.
I'm using my own leg.
Nah. Our family, nobody. Tasha, Tanya.
Yeah, look at your mama.
Exactly.
Come get your mama.
That's right. I'm walking.
Saniqua, Sean.
No, I couldn't walk.
Mm-hmm.
Now if they see me now, they wouldn't believe it. They'll think they got a different mama.
Mm-hmm.
And a different granny.
Do a walk for him, mama. Walk for him real quick. Walk for him. Look at him.
She feeling like the girl.
Y'all see it? Y'all see it? Y'all know y'all used to.
Wow.
Look at her. Look at her.
I'm back, your mama.
Mama keep grabbing that foot.
You're moving too fast. You're moving too
Mama don't want me
fast.
to walk.
She grabbed that foot each time.
Granny walk, you better be letting Granny walk so she can walk outside.
Like, you know, you is doing too much.
Yeah.
So if anybody's interested in sessions, or should I say therapy sessions?
Wow.
It's the same thing.
Yes, yes, yes. Juanita has a question. Go ahead, Juanita.
Wow, that blew my mind. So I think I forgot my question. Okay, I'll bring it back. Oh, it wasn't a question. It was actually, I just wanted to share, to piggyback to kind of like Sunzie was saying, if you don't believe, I want y'all to know, for if you don't know, it's in the Bible. The wheel in the middle of the wheel, Elijah and those who, just disappeared off the earth, we're not from here. We know that. So I think that really Sunzie, you probably talking to the choir. I think mostly everybody on here kind of knows that what you're saying is true. I'm so thankful that to be among a group, that we're waking up, we're helping others to awaken. And it goes back to, we are helping us save God's people. And I thank you.
Yeah, because see, I remember my book is about waking people up, called Piercing the Serpent's Veil. And not many of us remember where we were prior to our lifetimes here. But I remember where I was prior to entering into my mother's womb.
What a blessing.
And I've met some other people who did too. Because like attracts like. So I was on a ship, and I'm from the star series, Sirius C, which is a female planet. And we were in a spaceship surveying the cosmos, and we tuned in to the planet Earth. And we hovered above it, and we saw all of these people of every race, creed, and color marching to a beat of a drum, and it was very monotonous. Boom, boom, boom. And they were falling and falling and dying. And I started crying from where I was. I said, who's doing this to these people? Who's doing this to these people? And whoever was in charge up there said, who's going to go down to earth to help these people? I said, let me go. Let me go. I'm going to stop. Whoever's doing it, I'm going to stop it. They said, okay, you can go. Nobody else on that ship raised their hand. So they said, you got to have counseling before you go. I said, what? I don't need no counseling. I'm ready to go right now. I want to help these people. They said, you have to have counseling. I said, I've been down there a lot already. I said, I'm ready to go again right now. Just let me go, let me go, let me go. So I was up there arguing with them the whole time. My mother was pregnant, waiting for my spirit to enter into that fetus. That fetus did not have a soul or a spirit for a whole 9 months until I entered in at the 10th. I came into the fetus at the 10th month. My mother went into labor for 2 days. And when I got in there, I felt like I was about to die. Like my oxygen was being cut off. So before I entered in, they took me to a portal on the ship, which was circular, looked like rolling water. And they said, okay, now it's time for you to go. And I instinctively knew how to fall through the portal. And when I went through the portal, I ended up comfortably in my mother's womb. But I entered in at the 10th month, and I was about to die, and I was screaming for help. And finally, I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. And my mother told me she labored for 2 days, and she said I scared her because I didn't come until she didn't birth me until the 10th month. So when I got here, my spirit dropped down into the lowest place in the cosmos, which is Earth. And it is dark. And people, when we come here, we agree to forget so that we rise up through the spirit and teach everybody else how to come out of it. So I forgot, because I was born a little black girl in the projects with all of these challenges to face, of prejudice, of school system issues and fights in the city. And I was the smallest, youngest in my class. So I was always fighting, but I never ran because I had pride. I never ran from a fight. I stood up, and a lot of times I won. So, but we have these past lives that we can pull energy from. And I was a queen warrior. And those of you who know my daughter, Alina, you know that she has that warrior mentality too. And we were both queen warriors in another life. And she killed me, and she had to come back as my daughter to pay homage. So these are the type of things I talk about in the book as far as spiritual things, past lives. You all probably heard of Queen Khalifa. I was Queen Khalifa. I was fighting in the court systems then when I want to say the Romans or the Greeks made it a law where women could not speak in court because of me. I was speaking up for myself. They wanted me to have a mediator. And today I'm doing the same thing. So those of us, whatever we're doing now, we used to do that at another time in another life somewhere. And we brought those gifts forward. And guess what? All of your gifts are not being used. And that's why they're trying to kill us off, because they know more about us than we do. So when you wake up and you try to take back your power, your land, because they were trying to get you before you wake up to the fact that this is your land. This is the promised land. The sea that Moses parted is between California and the rest of the country. I apologize. We've gone way beyond health now.
It's all inclusive. It's all inclusive. You know, we are at 10 o'clock, and you know, I just want to thank you for being there for your daughter, and for me, your girl, and for the rest of the Elizabeth that have joined us. At Peace, you had your hand up. I didn't know if you wanted to share something right quick. And then I saw it go back down. Okay, but we're
I'm trying to figure this thing out. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay,
No,
okay.
I was just trying to wave when she said that she remembers life before coming to her mother's womb. I was just trying to wave. I didn't have my
Oh, okay, okay.
So at Peace, did you remember too? Did you remember anything?
Yes. The more I got into my meditations and really went deeper into my meditations, did more on a consistent basis, then you start asking certain questions and you'll get the answer. So I asked the question, what was my mother going through when she was pregnant with me? Because I knew it had a lot to do with what I was going through at the time. And they showed me a lot, and it's true because just like anything else, like about anything else.
Yeah.
And something is true out in the 3D, same thing in meditation. You'll know when it's the real vision. So yeah, I remember being in my mom's womb and the things that happened. I don't know if I entered late, but I do remember being in there and loving it. Like she was loving on me. She was happy that I was there. We were connecting. And then something happened to her, which caused her to disconnect from me. And before I was born, I didn't want to come. I had changed my mind. I was all happy about coming at first. And then something traumatic happened to her with her and my father. And she didn't want me anymore. She was doubting about being my mom. And it shifted something in me before I was born, where now I didn't want to come. I was 2 weeks late, had to get a C-section to get me out because I didn't want to come anymore.
Wow.
So, and it's teaching me a lot of over the years about, my journey here. So yeah, I can totally relate.
And the Spirit told me that those of us with stories like that need to write it so that all of us can put together the pieces of the puzzle to give us the whole, because over the centuries, all the lies have been told to separate us. But as we who have insight come together with our story, we'll be able to share and put it all back together.
Yes, I'm down with that. Just let me know where I sign up.
Hey, it's your book.
I got a ton of stories like that, like throughout my life, things that have happened. I have a ton of stories. When I was about 4 or 5 and I realized there was no Santa Claus, I was super angry. I was angry at adults for trying to make me believe that there was a Santa Claus. I was looking at the world different at 5, like, oh my God, I'm living in hell. Like I thought at 5 years old, I was living in hell.
Yeah,
Everybody was
literally.
trying to force me to believe something that I knew wasn't true.
Yes.
It was crazy. Yeah,
Yes.
I've been on this journey for a minute.
I think you're indigo or crystal or something too. I know you are.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks, at peace. Saesha, you want to pop back in and close us out?
Hey, so thank you everyone for being here. Please, please, please be more mindful of what you eat, when and how much of it. If you need a food journal to help you with that, I have published a tool that can help you identify your habits regarding sleep, regarding food, regarding exercise, regarding your mood. So I will post that link in the comments, but I hope you all have a very blessed and prosperous day. And I
You
wish
too, my love.
You too. Thank you, Saesha. Thank you,
You
Sunzie.
too.
Sheila.
Thank you all. I love you all.
You all.
Mama,
Thank you,
Beautiful.
Queen
will be
Mother
with us tomorrow,
Adjuni, for putting us
leading us out.
together.
So join us tomorrow and keep Razia in your prayers.
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Ashe.
Peace.
Ashe.
Love you.
Thank
Peace
you.
and love.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you all.